Hey everyone, welcome to week 3 chapel. I know that this trimester has been a little different with our chapels. As an extension site, we are just complying with the policy that they are enforcing, and that's the 4 chapels offered by the extension site. So little by little, we're getting better, and hopefully we continue to grow. In today's on-campus Connect chapel, this is just a chapel for students outside of the Greeley area or in the Greeley area, or our on-campus students to come together and have chapel. We are on a big relationship kick here on campus as we have been doing our visionary chapel on the book of Hosea. This is something that's super important. Last trimester we had a chapel entitled Thumbs Up at Home equals Thumbs Up in Ministry. And the truth of the matter is, for those of us who are married and those of us who are parents, we need to have a thumbs up at home before we are rock star ministers, right? So in today's chapel, something that I'm going to be doing with the students is asking different questions just to probe their mind about things that pertain to their future desires, or what they're looking for in a relationship. And so I have these pretty cool books. They were recommended from Dr. Cook, and it is 101 questions to ask before you get engaged, and then 1,001 questions to ask before you get married. These are really cool books for some of you who are already in ministry and you get the opportunity to mentor and counsel on students. These are great books to ask couples and teenagers who want to get in a relationship, just to get them to start thinking about what are they looking for in a healthy relationship, and who are the people around them that have healthy relationships or not healthy relationships. I want to just give you guys an opportunity before we go into chapel. I'm going to ask some of the questions that I'm going to be asking to the students, and we're just going to have a very raw and authentic discussion for chapel today. And I want to just give you the opportunity to ask yourselves some of these questions. For those of us who are married, these are still great questions to ask some of those mentees under us, or just ask yourself if maybe we're still living out those same passions and desires that we thought before we were married. Question number 1, if you were to marry, what would be the hardest adjustment a person would have to make in order to live with you? The notes for this say, don't expect an immediate answer to this question. Suggest that they reflect on it for a while. What they suggest could be a new revelation to you, or it could be something expected. If you were to marry, what would be the hardest adjustment a person would have to make in order to live with you? Perhaps for some of us who are married, what is the hardest adjustment our spouse has to make in living with us? The next question: how well do you handle constructive criticism and advice? Take a moment and observe how your partner responds to this question. Do they welcome instruction? Do they welcome advice? Or do they know everything already? Find out how they would like to be approached, and if you felt advice could be helpful. Also ask who they are the most open to in receiving advice from. If they answer anyone but you, watch out. How well do you handle constructive criticism and advice? It's amazing how some of us can be in a relationship, and the moment our significant other tells us something that they're just trying to help us or point out, and we just respond with attitudes or sarcasm. And if our pastor or our mentor or our coach were to call out something on us, then we respond with grace and understanding. So those are just great heart checks for us. The next question. Of all of the emotions we experience in life, what are the easiest ones for you to express, and what are the most difficult? The notes for this question are: everyone is an emotional being. Some experience or express emotions more intensely than others. Some children are raised without an emotional or feeling vocabulary, so it's difficult for them as adults to express what they're feeling inside. Talk about each of the following: fear, worry, anxiety, depression, sadness, anger, rage, frustration, guilt, shame, delight, sorrow, joy. That's enough for one session with anybody. Here's another question. What are the passions in life you would love doing, and which of those would be meaningful to you if I were to do them with you? You can ask that to your partner or significant other. Togetherness in a relationship means being able to play, work, and serve together. Are each of you willing to at least try the other's passion? If nothing clicks, both of you could try something new in order to discover an interest you can do together. If there's nothing and you go ahead and marry, you could end up as a pair of married singles. I'll read that again. If there is nothing and you go ahead and marry, you could end up as a pair of married singles. Okay, here's another question. What foods do you enjoy, and what are your feelings about eating healthy? Here's another question. What are the 5 biggest fears in your life? This can be a very revealing question. Couples can be married for years and never be aware that their partner has any fear. How do those fears affect your relationship? How could you assist one another in overcoming those fears? Here's another question. Do you feel you need to compromise or sacrifice anything to be a part of a relationship? Relationships are based on give and take. They can't consist of all taking and no giving, or all giving and no taking. Balance is key. Make sure you learn what strikes a balance in the give and take arena for both of you. Be wary if your partner feels that their life is one giant compromise. Here's another question to ask someone who is getting married. Do you like animals? What animal would you love to have as a pet that you don't or can't have at this time? How would you work it out if your partner wanted an animal and you didn't? It's not just the animals that can be the issue. It's where they live and who takes care of them. What if one of you has allergies or fears about certain animals? If you're married, what animal would be brought into the marriage? I'm allergic to dogs, so we'll never have a dog. Okay, and the last question. What do you envision in the future for this relationship? After answering this question and the preceding ones, are you confident there is a healthy future for the both of you? Are there some areas that need further discussion? Take the time to go over these problems and pray about them. Make sure you take the time to celebrate all that you do have in common. You should now have a good foundation for building a life together. If you discover that you're not as compatible as you first thought, or if too many red flags were raised during your discussions, it's best to know that now and back out of the relationship rather than ending up in an unhealthy marriage to a stranger. We'll be posting this on YouTube, and this is going to be the video for chapel. So I'm going to be asking similar questions to our students in chapel today, And if you have any comments or just any funny insights that you would like to share, go ahead and post in our Facebook group. Thank you all for watching and being faithful in your student life and student ministry. God bless you.